All right. Without further ado, my name is Joseph Donato, and I shall be briefing to you about Helmut von Moltke the Elder. Now, the nature of this briefing is for official use only. So I like it that way. It's better. Without further ado, yes, music. In 1822, Helmut von Moltke the Elder commissioned to the Prussian infantry. He originally had commissioned in the Denmark infantry, but as he saw that the career prospects were de minimis, he decided to go with Prussia, much more powerful. Well, after a year of exceptional service, in 1823, he went to the Prussian Kriegsakademie, pictured right there. These things are so dirty these days. Anyway, he went to the Kriegsakademie, and after about a year of that, he was immediately put on the general staff due to exceptional organizational skills and being able to competently demonstrate proficiency. He was unlike the other Prussian cadets, and they were typically what you'd expect, you know, oh, Kriegs and all, you know, real strong and such, but he was more the planner, kind of laid back and silent. It's definitely interesting. Well, in 1835, he took time to visit the Ottoman Empire to write his book, The History of the Roman Empire. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The Ottoman Empire. Absolutely. Now, yeah. Sultan Mahmud, this man right here, Sultan of the Ottoman Empire, came up to him and said, Moltke, I need your help with artillery to lead my units against rebel governor Mehmet Ali, sometimes called Muhammad Ali in history books. And so he created the new model infantry, Mahmud did. The problem is, Mehmet Ali was much more powerful, more organized, and supported by Britain. This created a problem that the Ottoman Empire was showing signs of decay. Its huge bureaucracy known as the Janissary Corps had crippled it. But nonetheless, Moltke took command of the artillery, and so finally Mehmet Ali and Sultan Mahmud met at the Battle of Nazib. The Ottoman Empire was crushed resoundingly. The artillery from Mehmet Ali blew out everyone. So Moltke realized, this is not good. He commanded the artillery confidently until everyone was safely retreated. The Sultan was killed, and so that ended that. Once that happened, Moltke learned quite a few things, moving all the way back to Prussia. So that ends the Ottoman chapter. It's sometimes known as the Oriental Crisis, and of course, that's where we get most of our modern problems, such as Israel and Palestine. Real fascinating. They're very fascinating characters in themselves. Anyway, while in Prussia, Moltke the Elder realized that logistics was key in this era of warfare, knowing that you need to be able to move well-armed troops anywhere, such as Frankreich, Rusland, Österreich, all these key places where huge battles would take place and they had to maneuver against them. He modernized them, modernized their infantry drill, everything from top down. Now what's really interesting is he made cadets study European politics to understand potential threats, understand naval power, understand more complex operations than probably we go over today. But nonetheless, we can do it later. He modernized Prussia's grand strategy and its tactics, coming up with intense battle plans on how to deal with France, Russia, Austria, if ever they were to go to war, and that's what we do today. So really, it's good stuff. Now, what he's most known for is Auftragstrategie, which there's two words in German for giving orders, an Auftrag und Befehl. Auftrag and Befehl. A Befehl is when you give someone an order and that's exactly how they do it. Like, Price, I want you to come here at 12 o'clock and bring a coffee filled with 2 creams. That's a direct order. Whereas an Auftrag is just make sure I have coffee today. Anyway, this today we know as Commander's Intent / Mission-Oriented Command. Now, we adopted this in the 1980s. Now, I want you to know that he came up with this in the 1830s, 40s. So we are definitely doing great with this. And it's useful because we found how great it is. And what he said is, commanders should be assigned general missions related to fundamental, clearly understood objectives, then instructed to accomplish those missions by carrying the fight aggressively to the enemy. Well, that's what happened. You see, he battled Emperor Napoleon III of France, and this may not seem like a big deal now, but the French forces were encircled in a Kesselschlacht because they were maneuvering so much faster than the French forces. That spelled the end of France, and that's why you don't know France's modern military power, because even though they had better rifles, better artillery, and better tactics, you can't win against a superior paradigm. And that's what we need to think about even today. Now, this march was written in commemoration of this battle. What happened was at the Battle of Königgrätz, you really saw commander's intent to the main key. Moltke gave very clear, simple orders on how to maneuver against the Austrians. Well, the Austrians, commanded by Ludwig von Benedict, right there, he held command of the entire battle, not letting anything away from him. He was slow and not knowing exactly how things were working. And because of the Prussian railroads, Moltke was able to move far more effectively than the Austrian forces. This led into a resounding defeat at the Battle of Königgrätz, in which 9,000 Prussians died and about 50,000 Austrians died. You can see these lessons do have a real-life application. And when you fail to understand them, you get destroyed like the Austrians. And this was a world power. It's not like this is some third-rate goofballs get run around. But anyway, I like visuals, so we're gonna do a visual. This is good stuff. It's in German, which is sad, but. All right, now this is the Austrians. They're going to lead a charge against the Prussians. Now, I want you to see the difference. Now, bear in mind, the Austrians are equipped with the Lorenz rifle, which we actually purchased in the Civil War. The Confederacy bought about 300,000, whereas the Union bought about 400,000 of them. Great stuff, fun to know. There you go. See, very typical as Austria, kind of like our forces.
Der Sturm der österreichischen
He said the
Reserven
assault
wird
of the
zum
Austrians.
Wendepunkt der Schlacht.
There's the Prussians. Due to
Jetzt
their
können die Preußen ihren
new
Trupp
weapons that
ausspielen.
Moltke ordered,
Das preußische Zündnadelgewehr, der erste gut funktionierende Hinterlauf.
cartridge
Bei
loader,
ihm wird die Munition von hinten eingeladen. Wird der Abzugshahn betätigt, durchbohrt eine Zündnadel die Patrone und entflammt das Zündmittel, die das Geschoss nach vorne treibt.
all modern weapons are needle guns. That's where the firing pin came from.
Ein tödlicher Vorteil gegenüber den mit Vorderladern bewaffneten Österreichern.
Now watch how they have to load their weapons. Old school, just like our
Die
guys.
Preußen können schneller und im Liegen nachladen. Der Soldat bleibt dabei in Deckung. Im Schnellfeuer der preußischen Zündnadelgewehre bricht der österreichische Gegenangriff zusammen. In knapp einer halben Stunde sterben.
See, he just said about 4,000 or 4,000 died. But anyway, you see the point. Staying with the times. That brings me to. So why is this important? Right here I have a general star. See this? Everyone? Any questions about it? What if I was to go like this and would you feel anything about it? Would you feel offended? No. Yes. Okay. All right. This is a good point. If I were to wear it, would that be offensive? If I walked around, parade around UCF with this on, would that be offensive?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now why is this important? This is but a piece of fabric to someone else. They don't understand what this means. It's nothing. It's just a star on a piece of ACU. But to us, it has such a great meaning. And why this is important is because that's how it works with our enemies. We don't study our enemies. Something so small as a star to us made the difference. And as you could see in Skillman's presentation with Westmoreland, he failed to understand how the Vietnamese were operating, so they outmaneuvered us with their own game because they studied us. Now, we need to do that with our enemies. And today, I tell you what, our high leaders are gearing up for what I call the Yellow War. And that's China, an engagement. Supercomputers, everything. People are calculating strategies. And I'll tell you what, do we know what the Chinese want? Is war an option? Do we have a good plan to deal with it? I don't know. And quite frankly, it's something we need to think about. The networked enemy, the rise of Al-Qaeda and such. Do we understand how a terrorist network works? Does anyone really know in this room the difference between the Taliban and Al-Qaeda? What is the difference? What are they? How are they different? And this is the kind of things you just need to keep thinking about. And that's the one thing I'll say is sometimes our perceptions are blinded because we're here and that's fine. We have to be cognizant of that, adapt to their level of warfare, and take the fight to them. And that's also Field Marshal Moltke's interesting matrix. He was the first to actually categorize officers. Anyway, this is what I've spoken to you about. Any inquiries on the subject?